Hello, my friends. It's me, Brett. I love integrating spiral movements into my yoga practice to stimulate the lymphatic system, my immune system, and stretch all those hard to reach spots. Let's begin.
It's time to feel uplifted.
To begin, come and take the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Micro bend the knees, place the hands on the hips, and we'll just start with some hip circles. So just taking the hips forward and back. If you feel a little silly, that's okay. Just allow yourself to get lost in the juiciness of the movement. If you want to take the feet even wider, get a little bit more into it, just reverse the circles now. Slow down your breath. Just feel into the hips and the body. This area of the hips is linked with our creativity, our desire. Just feel into the sense of creating, feeling free. Good. And then come to the top of the mat now that you've felt into the hips a little bit. Inhale, reach up, feet are hip width apart and parallel. Clasp opposite elbows. Inhale, get a little taller first, and then lean on over to the left or right, doesn't matter, but just feel a big side bend. Imagine you're between two panes of glass. You're opening up the side body. I like to micro bend the knees and then take it over to the other side. So opposite elbow tilts down. Think of lengthening the tail, pulling the navel in. Good. And now we're going to take this into a big circle. So continue imagining you're moving between two panes of glass. Bend the knees. And now let this come into a forward fold. You should feel a really juicy stretch as you come down. And now you're going to come up the other way. This is called sundials. So you can take a look at the screen if you just want to watch me for one of them. And then you'll quickly get the hang of it. Close the eyes as you come up through the side. Really think of taking the elbows back in space. So you come into a forward fold, but then you take that top elbow back so you get the deepest stretch possible, and then reverse the circles as you're ready. Notice how I'm really bending my knees as I do this. So your knees should be deeply bent as you come into the forward fold, and then they straighten as you come back up. Use this as an opportunity to just say hello to all the areas of your low back and side body. And then the next time you're down, just dangle, hold opposite elbows. Draw the chin into the chest, let the crown of the head really point towards the floor. Just hang. Bend the knees. See if you can get a little longer. Let your low back release a little bit more. Beautiful. And then inhale, half lift. Glide the shoulder blades back. Send the heart forward. And then exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs. Spread the fingers of the palms. Press through the middle finger and thumb. And deepen your breath. From here, you can either drop to the knees or rock forward to plank, your choice. If you've dropped the knees, pull the heels into the seat, rock forward, lengthen your tail. So notice how I kind of go from here to here, and then bend the elbows in this modified chaturanga and come into cobra pose. Deep breaths here. Keep the kneecaps lifted off the ground, legs engaged. Chin in, back of neck long. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. One more deep breath. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. You can kind of move through a child's pose. Pedal through the legs. Good. Step or carry the right foot forward, so you can step it through or carry it forward. Keep the left hand down on your mat and the right arm comes up so you can experience a really juicy twist. Squeeze the inner thighs together and rotate the heart to the right. Keep pressing energy out the back, left heel, deep breath. And then exhale, hands frame the foot. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. A little different. Clasp the hands at the top. And from here, I want you to imagine you got a laser beam coming out of your knuckles, and you want to paint big circles on the ceiling. So kind of like we did before, you're going to tilt over to the left or right, doesn't matter. Lean forward, and then a little bit back. So again, you can take a look at me for the first one, and then just find this yourself. So we're working a little bit differently than we did with the sundial spiral. Opening up the body in a different way. Keep thinking of length. And those hip circles we did before are serving us now because the hips are moving slightly. But again, you're imagining your knuckles led by your torso. So you're not just using your arms, you're using your whole torso to kind of paint the ceiling. Last breath. Good. Inhale, reach up. Breathe out, bend the knees to fold. Inhale, half lift. And listen carefully, step the right foot back in space so we can find that lunge on the other side. So this time the right hand stays down and the left arm yawns up. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Squeeze and firm the inner thighs together. And then rotate your chest to the left. Power out the back right heel. 2 breaths. Good. Hands frame the foot. Step back, your choice to plank or lowering to all fours for that modified push-up again. Heels in, hips lever towards the chin. Once you've found this kind of tucked position, now your biceps can really work. You can do a couple of little mini chaturanga or all the way to the floor. Of course, if plank chaturanga is in your practice, you can do that in up dog. Otherwise, practice cobra with me here. This is a really good low back strengthener. Dip the chin, kneecaps lift off the mat, squeeze the elbows together, open across the heart, a few deep breaths. Test yourself here. See if you can lift your hands up off your sticky mat and see if you're pressing yourself up or really using your low back strength, which is what we want to hold yourself in this cobra. One more breath. Good, and then press yourself back to a child's pose. So wide knee child's pose. Knees as wide as the mat. Rock the hips from side to side. Walk the hands over to the left. Stack your right palm on top of your left palm and root down through your right sitting bone. You can keep a gentle sway or rocking if that feels good to you. And then walk it over to the other side. This time left palm on top of right. Anchor down through the left sitting bone. Once again, feeling into the side body. Good. And then just press yourself up and transition onto your back. We're going to do ankle to knee, but with a little bit of a twist. So fingertips just graze the heels, soles of the feet on the floor. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee. Make sure your ankle is really overhanging the knee. And this might be enough of a stretch, so you can stay right here. Otherwise, you're going to hold behind the right thigh and gently pull in towards your body. Now from here, straighten this right leg if you can. If not, just keep it bent. A couple deep breaths. If you straighten the leg, let it go. And let yourself tip over to the right. So it's as if you're going to fall and let this foot splat on the floor, but you're just kind of angled. And notice if that affects the hip, helps you feel the hip stretch in a little bit of a different way. Good. Come back to center and we'll switch sides. So right ankle over left thigh. Again, you can just stay here if this is a big enough stretch in your hips, otherwise holding behind the left thigh. Option if you want to straighten the leg. I'm also making some ankle circles if you do that. Deepening the breath. Rebending the knee if you straightened it and tilting over to the right. So it's like the left foot will fall, but it doesn't. And so this booty is lifting up off the floor a little bit, which is giving a different kind of sensation and stretch to the left hip. Good. Nice. Hug both knees into the chest. Rock and roll up to a seat. So using our core work, which we've worked on a tiny bit, just sort of massaging the spine and the low back. Coming to a cross-leg position. And just ending with some gentle spiral Sufi grind. So hands on the knees. Inhale to rock forward. Exhale to round back on your sitting bones, pulling the navel in. And then reversing direction. Beautiful. And then coming to stillness. Just bring the hands to prayer. Maybe you feel the energy around you and the body still moving, even as you sit here in silence now, and just call into your heart a sense of gratitude for making some time for a little bit of movement today. And breathing in deeply. And exhaling fully. So much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.
Thank you so much for practicing with me and being here all the way to the very end. When you're ready to stop practicing at random, to move out of the shallows and deepen your knowledge through thematic class series, training plans, guidebooks, and Yoga Alliance approved continuing education courses, join me inside the Uplifted membership. With me and our global community, uncover the ancient wisdom of yoga in ways that are personal, practical, and powerful. And if you want to keep watching here on YouTube, this is the class I suggest clicking on next. So much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.